I just crashed GFL. They're doing this draft thing. It's crazy over here, and I got to be honest with you, my head is spinning. I saw the production. My head almost exploded. It was nuts. You think about the NFL, you think about MLB, all that stuff. This is going to blow your mind. It's going down on January 24th, and we're here the night before. I got this beautiful human being from Canada. He came over, brought the weather over here. His name is Robin Black. How you doing, Robin?
Good to see you. Good to see you.
So let me get this straight. GFL, okay, when they contacted you and told you they were going to do something that was like a draft and like sports, like other sports, what do you think?
So, first of all, I don't know anything about sports, right? So I know about martial arts, art, combat, but like football and baseball and stuff, like Brendan and Darren, they were like, okay, it's a draft. I'm like, okay, what is that? But you learn about all of these details, but when you bring in, I've known Darren for like 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Darren, you want to come in on this?
Darren, please.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Darren. This is the man behind the magic over here.
Darren Owen. So Darren was running shows, big shows too, like put a lot of people in those seats, in Victoria, British Columbia. And I was sitting next to Paul Lazenby commentating for you. What would that be, 2006, 8, 10, 7? Yeah. Frank Mir was there cornering Drysdale in his first fight, and yeah, so Darren's been putting on shows and learning and growing and evolving his end of the business, and he's always been super straight up, always really smart. So I've been in Darren's orbit the last few years, seeing him cook this from an idea to this, which is pretty wild.
It was wild. It was a dinner we had.
Yeah.
Where I was telling you about the other thing I was doing, and I was like,
building a different business. Yeah.
Building a different business, and I was like, you know what? You know what's better than that? Teams of MMA fighting.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how they
started cooking up.
So this whole team concept, I mean, I'm a big sports fan. Like, I had season tickets to the Giants, and I'm a big hockey fan as well. And are we going to be looking at this thing as a weekly thing? Is it like on a specific day of the week? Like, when are we going to be able to see this?
Monthly events. And then those events that take place every month, starting in April, they'll have 3 competitions. So we're looking to fill the NFL's void during their off season. So we'll have a daytime competition, so like Dubai versus Miami, and then a night game on a Sunday, so like night competition.
Yeah. London versus LA.
Sao Paulo versus LA, and then a Monday night as well. So half of our roster will travel to wherever those locations are. And then for our regular season, we're going to those 6 city team locations. So one event in each of those locations, one a month. And then based on the performance of those athletes in the regular season, there's semifinals. So the top 4 make the semifinals, and then finals from that.
Wow. So is it going to be like a Super Bowl that you guys are going to do? Like your own little Super Bowl?
It's the Uber MMA Bowl.
Wow, Uber MMA Bowl. I like the name of that. Yeah. By the way, guys, in the chat over there, in the comments section, we've been talking about this. We need a balance from the NFL. And boom, he just said it right here. Sundays, we're going to have on the off-season MMA, the perfect time of the week, because Saturday's gobbled up the UFC. You got Friday nights with all these other PFLs.
This is all in the window of the NFL, and I know NFL is football, right? I don't know about sports, but pretty sure it's football, and I'm pretty sure it's a big deal, but it's dark during this period.
Yeah, right? It's perfect timing. Okay, so now speaking of football, there's a football player over here.
Also, speaking of the internet, let's just explode the internet.
Let's go. Here we go.
Now, the internet loves this guy.
Guys, let me just say this. The camera, we gotta get up here over here with Brendan Schaub's on the stream. I never thought that Brendan Schaub be on the MMA-Holes, considering he beat me up in the parking lot. Everything's fine, right? We're good now?
Yeah.
The internet loves this guy. Everybody on the internet loves this guy. Nothing but love.
Cats, homeless, all that stuff, right? Yeah. But anyway, all joking aside, you get called for this over here. Yeah. And I mean, listen, you're all over the place. You have all the podcasts and all that stuff. You have the NFL, you're not the NFL background, but you have a football background and an MMA background. And then you have a league like this that contacts you. What's the mind like?
No brainer, I'm in. And it's, you know, giving back to the fighters, gives fighters with big names another home to compete in, so no brainer, easy work.
No brainer, easy work. And what do you find time to do all this stuff? I mean, you got so much stuff going on in your life. How do you find time to do this?
Yeah, I mean, if it's important, I'll make time. I'm rushing back. Hopefully I get out tomorrow night. My son has a football game on his coach. I can't miss that game. So I figure it out. I make it happen.
Yeah. Now, the big thing, and Darren, if we could bring you in on this as well, the big thing with, these leagues, these PFLs and these other leagues out there.
Those are promotions. This is a league completely different.
So this is a league. Okay, so you don't consider yourself part of any other MMA organization?
No, this is a totally different business model, totally different structure, completely different way how we compensate our athletes, how our format works, how our structure works. There's never been anything like this ever created before. The closest thing was IFL. However, completely different business model with the IFL as well.
So when you hear like 50-50 splits, and you guys doing insurance too, or like
insurance
so they get
fund,
health
retirement
insurance?
fund.
When you hear shit like this, are you like, God damn it?
I know.
You wouldn't have to be doing this if this model was in place.
right?
And that's the thing, that's what I talked totally about. Like, if this model was the model like you experienced,
Yeah.
you would like, I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, I'm not staying at the Hyatt, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
No, it's not bad. No, I'm just kidding.
That's crazy. So would you ever consider coming out of retirement for something?
No, I'm too busy, man. No.
Sam Malvey on our show called you out.
Short notice?
I'm sure you.
The guys at Game Bread offered
ideas.
him millions of dollars to fight JDS.
Yeah.
And what athlete actually doesn't need millions of dollars at
Yeah.
this point in your life? Good for you, man.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
for you.
I still play men's league hockey, and I'm an athlete who does still need millions of dollars. But I'm not fighting Junior Dos Santos for it.
So breaking news, Mike Goldberg's going to be fighting at Global? Or
So
Yeah.
falls out.
Yeah, let's go.
What are you weighing, Mike?
With the headset.
What are you weighing?
180 right now.
180. So you're middleweight. You and Luke Rockhold.
Yeah.
That should be
And
pretty
it's really the face-off is going to be more interesting because I mean he's a good-looking fucking guy, but I'm a sleeper at 60 years old.
Yeah.
So you know I might do one of these.
Well, you give him one here we go, and
That's
who's
it.
Gonna be,
Yeah, he'll melt. He'll melt.
He'll-
Just like this man.
So a lot of people are talking about a lot of these fighters being a little bit older and stuff like that, and that's like, that's a concern always.
Yeah.
And with someone like you knew when to leave, right? So in a situation like this, are there any situations where you see these fighters coming in and you're like, they might be too old, or are you just letting them do?
No, it depends, right? Like, some guys, they needed a bit of a break. They needed to recover. They needed to, heal up from injuries and take some time to really get their bodies right, their minds right before they go back in there. But, same flip side as well. Some guys have taken damage throughout their career and maybe this isn't the right fit for them based on where they are. So, we wanted to bring in as many of the big name athletes as we could. We obviously had to make as much noise as we can. And, the fighters that have that giant fan base are kind of really what's leading this, but then also we have all the global superstars from all around the world. So it's that mix of, hey, yeah, I know all these fighters, and I think that's kind of like what I miss when I watch MMA. It's, I don't know most of these guys anymore, so it's it's just a different level of like caring.
I think too those older fighters, remember it's a team concept, so you're gonna have a veteran be able to help and tutelage the younger prospects.
Yeah. That makes sense, yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, you get the hook in the mouth, you pull the fan base in with the names.
Well,
and then you
imagine
work-
3 years in the future, should this continue to grow and make sense, and all of a sudden there's a rev share league that you can go fight in, and you're the 21-year-old prospect in 2027, and you're going to make $95,000 in your first fight based on some growth and rev share model. Then you'd have that. Those would be the fighters. Where would you go if you were 20 years old and you're going to make $8,000 or $10,000 to sign a contract to fight in a contender series to already say I'll fight on that if they pick me, or you're going to go, and so. But to get there, you got to have Junior Dos Santos, former UFC heavyweight champion, and he's available and he can fight. Brendan and I called his fight for Jorge Masvidal's show.
There's a reason I
Fucking right's that guy.
fight.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you, because I mean, you see these guys in phenomenal shape at an older age. It's testing. Is there a testing system in place with something like this, or?
Yeah, all the athletic commissions, so following all the necessary rules, guidelines, all that stuff. We're implementing concussion protocols. We've brought in actually Director of Performance and Wellness, former NFL coach, Dr. Jennifer Welter. So she's going to, for any athletes that are looking for extra mental coaching or that aspect of it too. So we're trying to kind of holistically create a new environment just for the athletes and let them know, like, hey, we're here for you to support you and where you are in your career now. And obviously, like, it's more than just the physical aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
So, we want to make sure their head's right, they're in a good place, and that's part of it.
It sounds great. Like, if you think about it, it sounds like the fact that you guys are here for the fighters is what makes me want to watch it. And I can imagine the fans out there as well. And as a former fighter as well, you got to be like, this is good. I'm part of something from the ground floor that's for the fighters.
Maybe you won't want to try to pirate it, knowing that half of your money half your money actually goes to the athlete. So
So
it's like, do you want to go to a charity? Do you want to go to a charity event and be like, can I get a free ticket to that charity event?
Yeah.
Or they're like, here's $80, whatever. I'm happy to support it.
Well, I mean, there are other organizations out there where a lot of people are criticizing because of fighter pay and this and that. So
That's why they get fired.
yeah, is this why you have a bald head? It's because you're the anti of that person, or?
No, we're just doing our own thing. Anyone who's ever been involved in the sport, like, all respect to them. And some companies have killed it and done very well. A lot of them haven't. The business model is brutal.
Most of them have it.
99% of them have it.
99%.
yeah.
Yes.
There's been one.
Yeah.
That makes problems.
There's been one. So what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So, like, this is a completely different thing. No one's ever tried this. No one's ever done this. However, they've done it in baseball, basketball, hockey, cricket, Formula One, driving, professional bull riding, like sailing, all of it, right? Like, that model we know historically works and works very well.
That's awesome. And by the way, the beautiful women of the program, can we have the?
Yeah, get them in there.
Let's-
Get our
I mean,
ugly
this
mugs
is- yeah,
out.
this is-
We're looking for you over here.
We want the fans want.
I mean, listen, it wouldn't be a fight organization without a beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at this! I'm blushing right now. I don't even know what to say. If you could introduce yourself to the beautiful community over here.
Hi, I'm Caroline Pearce. I'm a MMA reporter, UFC primarily, TNT Sports, and GFL host.
I tell you what, we've seen you doing the UFC thing, and a lot of guys have been throwing themselves at you. You're short
Good about
social
that.
media. The question is this: are you getting any crazy inappropriate pictures or anything like that? Is Brendan Schaub slipped into the DMs and sent it?
Yeah.
No, but we were discussing tonight, we both have wiki feet pages.
Oh, do you really? Wait,
So we're
It's a
just
money
discussing
maker.
we
Stop.
could make some money in
Yeah.
wiki feet.
Yeah.
wait a second. Can you explain?
She brought
what-
this to my attention.
Yeah.
There's a big feet fall.
It's a wiki feet
Wait,
page.
you have page? People made a page.
There's a
for-
page, and anytime you, because obviously I post a lot of fitness stuff or they go for open toe shoes, these pictures just make it onto this page. And so do him.
How,
lot of views.
how do you numb yourself to something like this? You just ignore it, or you just like, oh, that's fine.
Sometimes I think, could I make more money doing this?
So when is the OnlyFans page? No. So anyway, so what would your role be in this organization?
So I'm hosting the draft. So I sit at the end of the desk with these guys, with Goldberg, with Brendan, with Robin, and I'm just driving the traffic. So I'm taking us to the next pick with Darren, asking that initial question to the fighters that we've just revealed. So, what do they think about being number 1, 2 pick? What team they're a member of? Their teammates. We're going to build that story as the night goes on, and then obviously those are the guys who will start building the picture, giving their predictions ahead of each pick as well, so we can get a little bit of anticipation as to what's to come. And we've got a really cool video at the end as well to just get everyone hyped once those fighters have been announced. And you've got to look out for it when we announce those fighters and they virtually walk out. Pretty damn cool.
I can't wait. I saw some of the production behind the scenes over here, and I was like, damn, this is like legit stuff. And you know how this field works over here, but now you're starting something that's brand spanking new. You've never seen it in the MMA space, the combat sports space. So how does it feel being part of something like that?
Yeah, I love being part of things from the beginning where it's new, it's innovative, it's taking what we all love. We love MMA. You're going to see so many fighters you already know and you love, from legends, those that are up and coming. There's somewhere in the middle where they're still at like the prime in terms of their age, but at the same time, still maybe something to prove, like levels to reach. They can really be inspired by the former UFC heavyweight champions, to give a little bit away. There's a few of them that are on their team, for example. And then just to combine the team sport element as well, which we don't even need to explain yet how established that is within our sports world. You marry those two things together and it just gives you fighters and teams to root behind, whether it's because it's London and that's like me where you're from, or Miami, or Dubai, or whether it's the particular fighters that make up that team, that make you gravitate towards that team, and with regular fights all over the world, something to get behind.
I tell you what, you guys sold me on this. You guys sold me. It's, I mean, the excitement, I could hear it in your voices over here. I saw it behind the scenes when you guys were getting ready. It just seems like you know you're part of something that could be very special. So, I mean, best of luck to all you guys. But we got one more over here that we got to bring in. We got to bring it in, and also we got Goldie as well.
Team.
Ladies and gentlemen, another pretty face over here for the GFL.
Oh snap! Over here.
I wish. That's why my beard just covers everything up over here. I hear you have like a little bit of YouTube influencing, sports background as well. If you could introduce yourself to the beautiful community over here.
Greetings, Earthlings. A lot of people might know me from the jiu-jitsu scene. I have a YouTube page that like really honed in on that niche. So yeah, but the background started out with like college sports, and then COVID happened, and that pushed me into MMA stuff. So now we're here.
Oh wow! So college, just overall college sports, and then bam into the MMA space.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. I just started a YouTube channel and started interviewing people that would let me have the time of day, and then all of a sudden I got hired by Below the Belt and Morning Combat. So that was my
awesome.
first step into MMA. So.
I tell you what, man. So YouTube is what catapulted you into this whole space. Isn't that cool? Like you can just basically start a channel, and the next thing you know, bang, you're part of something really special like this.
Yes, I feel so lucky. And LinkedIn. I recommend LinkedIn for everyone. That's how I first got found out. Yeah.
So if someone were to ask you, hey, why do I watch the GFL? What would you say to them?
I think people should watch the GFL because we're doing something new, and it's giving fighters the opportunity to get matchups that we've been wanting to see, like cross-promotional things that we've been wanting, Bellator champions versus star UFC fighters, and we wouldn't be able to see that without something like this. So we're just gonna have to wait to see how the draft goes, but I feel like there's so many different questions that are gonna be answered.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, I can't wait to tune in, and I told you when to do it. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we got another person over here. I want to thank everyone for jumping in. The big crew over here behind the scenes. This is phenomenal stuff. We got Mike Goldberg.
Keep killing it.
My man, Robin Black.
And he does the podcast with his wife.
I know. I've been on
Yeah,
that.
she drives each other.
Oh, you've done it? Yeah. Did you introduce us?
No, it was
No,
Big
Big
Mo.
Mo did. Big Mo did.
That's right.
Big Mo did.
And here he is. Speaking of
What's
big,
going
look at this
on?
guy over here,
How are
Mike
you, man?
Goldberg. He gets
Good to see you.
sexier and sexier every time I see him.
I try.
So-
just more layers.
Go from the voice of the octagon to now the voice of a sport that is going to blow everyone's mind.
Yep.
GFL is going down, the draft's going down. How does it feel to be on the desk? Are you the, like,
I'll do play-by-play as well, yeah.
so you could be doing play-by-play? for-
Absolutely.
Is it for all the fights?
For
or-
all the fights, yeah. All the fights. With Brendan and Robin, and Caroline will be our host. We've got a great team. A great team.
Now, how are you going to control Brendan and Robin behind the scenes? Like, what are you going to be doing over here? Are you going to be keeping them in the cage or something like
Well,
that?
I'm going to give Brendan plenty of food,
Okay.
so he doesn't become the grumpy bear. And Robin, I'm just going to say like dumb things because he's so zen and his vocabulary is off the charts. I don't understand half of it, but then he says bink and I'm good. So I'm just going to try to like challenge him with my mastermind, and I'll lose. But at least we'll keep him occupied so he doesn't, bink on Brendan Schaub. But I also think Robin's smart enough not to do that.
You know, it's funny, this combination of commentators over here might be one of the most unique combinations we've seen in forever.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever seen anything like it. You've been side by side with Rogan, but now you got Rogan's BFF, and you got Robin Black, who was probably one of the most brilliant.
He really is. And I'll tell you about Robin Black is Joe would always say to me, man, I love Robin Black's breakdowns. His breakdowns are as good as any. So obviously you have Brendan in a long-standing relationship with Joe. And then you have Robin Black, who is a guy who is loved by Joe Rogan. And Joe says what he says and thinks what he thinks, and he's made a point many, many times to say nobody breaks down a fight and does these fight matchups and the breakdowns like Robin does, and he's one of a kind. He truly is one of a kind. And I'm thrilled. Like, Brendan and I have known each other since he first walked in the octagon, and I talked about, played at Colorado fullback, college football, and, he came in and started beating up people. But Robin and I have stayed in touch. And then also Brendan and I have not been in touch every single day, but when I saw him yesterday, it's like, okay, haven't seen you in how long? It was a comedy show he did in Phoenix, but it's like I saw him yesterday. And so it's really about chemistry, and Caroline and I work together with UFC. So the chemistry will be there, and that's a big part of it. That's a big part of it.
I tell you what, and by the way, I didn't know you're still doing comedy. You're back in it.
No.
Oh, you just so what, why are you not in comedy anymore? That's it. You retired or?
busy,
That's it. Huh?
Stop being funny.
He's too busy he's too busy to take $1 trillion fights and do $1 billion commentary.
Yeah.
Listen.
My daughter got sick.
Oh.
So it's not doing it.
Really? So the Gringo Poppy was your free bird.
Kind of. Man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, your daughter's okay now. Everything's good, or
She's all right.
good. That's great to hear. Anyway, back to Mike over here. Man, we got morbid for a second.
Okay, we're rolling. We gotta say, oh, Mike.
See you guys tomorrow.
Guys, thank you so much.
See you guys.
Thank
See you
you,
tomorrow.
brother.
See you, brother. See you tomorrow.
It's so nice meeting you.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm back.
All right. So anyway, I think of the ride of Mike Goldberg, right? And it's like the UFC, you did a little NFL, you're doing bare knuckle, you're just coming off a fight of bare knuckle with
Yeah.
BYB,
Oh my gosh,
where
yeah.
the guy's face is
Yeah.
completely rearranged. Now here you are over at GFL, and it's like the career just keeps on getting bigger and bigger, and just the snowball ride. How do you stay so relevant this late in the career, if you think about it?
You know, to me, when Darren and I spoke for the first time about a year and a half ago, and Darren said, when this happens, I want you to be my voice. And I'm like, I would love to do it, and now it's happening. Then I get on social and I see who he's signing. I'm like, oh my God, it's like, it's the superstars, it's the Mount Rushmore of mixed martial arts, right? And then the crew, it's Brendan, it's Robin. Everybody here were my teammates during the Viacom days at Spike and at Bellator. So the whole team are my best friends, they're my family. And so it's just been, I'm getting chills right now, but it's amazing that everything is coming together. And for me, I've done, since Bellator went away from me, I did a ton of boxing, as you know. Still doing a ton of BYB, bare knuckle, and that's gonna continue to hit, go to Wales soon. But today, it just kind of, it sank in. They're like, okay, what do you want to say at the top of the show? And I said, you know what I'd like to say, what if you had this dream that the glory days would come back and those fighters who are beloved by every single person in the combat world, and even more than that, what if they were all fighting again? You know, can we go back to those days when Joe and you were like teaching the universe mixed martial arts? And I was like, I cherish those days. I'll go on a ride bare knuckle, and then boom, Global Fight League comes. And I'm like, again, I've got chills. I mean, I was in tears yesterday, honestly, thinking about it. Absolutely. Because the opportunity Darren has given me, come back, make a statement, but it's not about me, it's about our organization. But to have the honor of going on this venture, and in so doing, be able to go back on memory lane and see all the fighters that I love, all the coaches that were fighters. Cain Velasquez is part of our crew, Rafael Cordero, Lyoto Machida, I mean, go down the list, Vanderlei Silva. That's what's really special for me, because it's been a little bit since my last Bellator, as you know. And MMA, I'm always going to love, but to do it in this scenario with these people just makes it that much more special.
I tell you, man, like it is. It's like a magical ride.
Yeah,
you know, it's crazy.
it really
it's such
is.
a magical ride, and the fact that I know you're a team sports fan on top of you know being in the MMA world and combat sports world, it's crazy to see this thing hit its peak, and it's just growing even more. This thing takes off. I mean, now you're the face, or the voice, I should say,
Yep.
of another big promotion out there. I mean, charmed life.
It is a charmed life, and again, I'm so humbled by the belief that Darren has in me. But it was cool today, and this is not me talking about me, but it was cool today. I was doing a voiceover, and a couple of people who maybe knew who I was but hadn't seen me or met me in person, they're like, dude, that energy and enthusiasm, like we had when we did the podcast together. That energy, that enthusiasm, that voice. And then Brendan's on set going, coming up next.
He did it?
And Robin's doing virtually identical. And just all of that it's my Hall of Fame. You know, I've always said the Hall of Fame are the memories and the relationships you make. If you get a jacket of any color, whatever. You know, I'm in the Bare Knuckle Hall of Fame. But this is my life, and my life is about being an entertaining sports broadcaster. And now I have a chance to do it again with tremendous partners, a tremendous team, a tremendous concept with, again, legends, true legends of the sport. And without a lot of these fighters that Darren has signed, the ones that maybe are a little bit older than they were when we saw them before, although Sage Northcutt is only 28. He was 19 when he made his UFC debut. That is just a special moment for me as well, because I've seen these guys around a lot and we still have the same love. But to be able to think, hey, I might call, Junior Dos Santos, Fabricio Verdum, like Joe would do, I'm crazy about the possibilities, but I really am energized to be with a family I love and to do what I love the most, and that's really what makes it special.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is amazing. And this draft going tomorrow, do you think you're going to be feeling some nerves, or do you think you're just a true professional? You got this.
The nerves are all, here's what you and I have talked about before. If you're prepared, if you've done your homework, you shouldn't be nervous, because you're not out there trying to trick anybody. Now, you can have butterflies, you can have enthusiasm, you can be like, okay, I want to get this right, but you shouldn't be nervous. People who present for a living, they're nervous because they didn't prepare properly. And they know at one point they're going to try to fake people, and people are smart. So nerves, no. Energy, enthusiasm, wanting to get it right because the eyes are going to be on us from all over the globe. Yeah, I want to come out strong, and Caroline and I are quarterbacking the show. So yeah, I think it's going to be more excitement. And it really is. It's a trip down memory lane, rehearsal today, and it'll be a true trip when all the graphics and everything come in tomorrow. And I'm talking about fighters who Junior Dos Santos and one of our GMs, Cain Velasquez, first ever show on Fox. Yeah. Fight lasted 69 seconds. It was more Menifee and the boys up on the set. So you can hear it in my voice. It's going to be the excitement, but I want to get it right, because that's what life's all about.
I was talking to was it like Melanie? Was the young lady that worked for Bellator? She was here tonight. I can't remember her name.
Lynn.
Lynn is her name?
Yeah,
Okay, Lynn. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I was talking to her for about an hour and a half in there, and she was going down memory lane, and she said how she knows you for a long time, and this and that, and connections with Bellator, and blah, blah, blah. It's kind of interesting to see everyone get assembled from all parts of combat sports and then dragged into a promotion like this when it's for the fighters. So that's got to feel pretty good, right? Being part of a team like that that's just from all over.
It's amazing, and both Jamie, who's our coordinating producer, Jim Kosanke, she's in Raleigh producing the show. I asked Darren right away, like, hey, do you see a role for my son, for Cole? He's 24 years old. He works for BYB. He's been with us at BYB for about 2.5 years. And he said, yeah, absolutely, Goldie. And then Jamie said, hey, I got an idea. I talked to Tyler Connell, Bruce Connell's son, who handles all our stuff on BYB. Can Cole come and do this the next few days? We'd love to have him. He can meet everybody. So Cole's working on the show behind the scenes.
Wow.
And
so Cole's gonna
so he's awesome. Here too. And that's the thing that makes it extra special. Now, before it was, I'll tell you a funny story. We were in London years and years ago, and we had a big kind of fan fest in London. And, people were every couple of steps like, hey, Cole, can I get a picture? Can I get a picture? Cole was maybe 8 or 9. He goes, Dad, I wish you were still doing hockey. I'm like, really? Why? He goes, because then everybody wouldn't recognize you. They wouldn't bother you and get a picture every 2 seconds. I'm hungry. And he was like a little dude. And he meant it in the nicest way, but I'm like, okay, little shit. And now he's in it. He's in it, and I'm excited. And so when you can relive your dreams, and I guarantee you I'll be checking out the forest a lot more than I did during that UFC run. But it was a good thing I was in the trees, because we were just, bam, exponentially growing at every single second of every minute of every hour. And this time I'm going to step back and enjoy the journey, as well as get in those trees and make sure my prep is done properly. Awesome. And to be able to do it with, my son makes it that much sweeter.
That's great. Wow. Passing down the torch to the next generation. Yeah. I tell you what, this Global Fight League is going to be something special. I have a great feeling about it. And Darren over here is doing something special. I mean, the nerve's on you, Darren, as you're eating your peanuts in the side over there. You got to be, like, this is your baby, right? Like, that's got to be so crazy for you to know that this draft is here. It's finally here, right?
Today was pretty surreal. Like, seeing the set, like seeing the vision that's been in the works for over 3 years, seeing it come to life, it's special. Like, it's pretty amazing. And then, like, looking at reading these names, I was like, did we fucking really pull this all
Yeah,
off?
absolutely, yeah.
And it's
yeah.
like, we did.
Yeah.
And
Is
like,
the set still? Can I check it out for a sec with the camera, or can I show it real quick? Or
Yeah,
is it
I
shut
think so,
down?
yeah.
You mind if I just give a quick shot of that?
Yeah.
Listen, we're going to show you guys the behind the scenes real quick over here. Listen, Darren's got the inside scoop, so get ready over here.
Set's actually shut down.
Oh, it's shut down? All right, go fuck myself, all right?
But
Here
you'll
we
be
go.
covering the slides. And you know what? The fact that Darren has been in this game for over 2 decades, but he had an idea which at first I'm sure a lot of people thought was crazy. But, and again, the first time we met was almost 2 years ago. And you had this concept, I'm like, I love it. And now it's coming to fruition. And so talking to him like, Goldie, can you do our draft? Can you this? Can you that? You still in? I'm like, I'm absolutely in. And so give this man all the credit because
it's not even, it's just logical, right?
Yeah.
It's a unique time and opportunity, and my experience that I've had in this sport and doing events all around the world, having the connections that I just be fortunate enough to have, and just knowing, like, even just from being a sports fan, like, I'm a sports fan.
Yeah.
I love this stuff, right? And like, number one, I'm an MMA fan, but like football, baseball, basketball, like, I'm into it. This is just the logical evolution for the sport of MMA. We know this business model works. We see it in every other major professional sport, and there's just so many logical things about, well, why, right? It's let's do right by the fighters first and foremost.
Absolutely.
Do you see any football players living out of their cars or not having insurance? Any basketball players dealing with it? It's like, no. They're treated like professional athletes. And like, why are MMA fighters not treated that same way? It's because they're independent contractors and they don't get a revenue share. They don't share in the success of the overall of the league itself. So now number one, they're incentivized because they get it. We're going to have 120 salespeople pushing
Very true.
every fight because they directly benefit from our revenues. So they're going to, hey, buy the pay-per-view. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Because the more revenues generate, the more they get paid. So it's just the collective of everyone together. We all have our unique strengths and weaknesses. I have my weaknesses, and I hope I'm smart enough to realize, like, hey, this isn't my thing, or this isn't what I'm best at. So let's bring someone in who is an expert at that. So it's just a collective of all of us together. Arguably the best at what he does. So like, let's just bring in the best people first and foremost. Like, we want to work with people who we want to work with.
You want to have a family atmosphere.
Yeah. So to be clear, if I'm a fan and I want to watch, is each event going to be a pay-per-view, or?
So you'll be able to just, like, if you live in London and you're like, I don't care about all the other teams, but I want to watch my London team.
Okay.
So you can just buy that London event.
Gotcha.
Or if you want to watch
Or London
30
on the
fights.
road, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, you can pick and choose, or you can bundle. So if you want to buy the whole event, like a whole weekend of 30 fights, you can buy the 30 fights. Or if you just want to watch the 10 fights of London versus New York, just buy that.
Gotcha. Is there jerseys and stuff like that? Like, interesting.
All this stuff, man.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, coming from a team sports fan, I love to just root for the team. If they get traded, I don't give a crap, right? In MMA, it's different, right? So now, how
It's
does
the
this
number
work?
one driver in sports fandom.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Historically proven, cheering for your favorite team. Favorite teams in the third most popular sport and a truly global sport. It's just logic. And then if you look at, well, what are the values of teams in popular sports? Oh shit, they're billions of dollars. And why are they? Because billionaires own them, because it's like, it's fantasy football, but in real life.
Yeah.
So now we've got
You really get to pick your
We've got
players.
modern
in the
day
fantasy
gladiators.
pool. Yep.
So you're going to be taking your stable of modern day gladiators, and you're going to compete against someone else's stable of modern day gladiators. Like, what more kind of incredible thing to do in your life than my team versus your team? But I have a team of trained assassins. It's not a team of soccer players,
More on the
basketball
line.
players. Like, it's the pinnacle.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Well, I love the motto. I love everything about this thing. Darren, Mike Goldberg over here. All right, tune into the draft. That's all I got to say. Tune into GFL. I'm supporting it. Mike Goldberg, Darren's in the building over here. Let's get out of here.
Hey, it is all over. Just like that.